Thiba Dam in Kirinyaga is now operational.
Tunaona hii mwaka tutafuna juu mchele imefanya mzuri kwa samba, juu maji ni mingi.
With over 15 million cubic meters of water, the dam is anticipated to be the primary driver of change in this part of the country. At a cost of 7.8 billion Kenyan shillings, the dam will feed the Mwea irrigation system, providing water to thousands of rice farmers.
In very simple terms, we are starting to fill in our reservoir, our lake that is created by the dam. So today marks the first day.
For over 4 years, engineers and builders toiled to have this structure up and running.
Thiba Irrigation Dam in Rukenya, Kirinyaga County is now impounding water.
What capacity? Right now it's 7 million.
7 million.
7 million cubic meters of water.
Rukenya, October 15th, 2002. President William Ruto arrived here to officially commission the operationalization of the dam.
Hapa Kirinyaga ndio tunapata 84% of all the rice that are grown in Kenya inazalishwa hapa Kenya.
After construction was completed in May, the dam has been harnessing one of the much needed resources for rice farming: water.
Well, a few minutes after the control gate was closed, I ran here, and as you can see, water is flowing back into the reservoir area. Now, that is how water is impounded by the dam.
And by the end of August, the dam was full and spilling excess water. For the first time, rice farmers in Mwea will have predictable and reliable supply of water.
Damu hii itatuwezesha kama watu wa Kirinyaga kuongeza ukulima wa mchele ama vile Waswahili wanasema mpunga, kuongeza eka 10,000 kutoka 25,000 kwenda 35,000, from 25,000 acres to 35,000 acres, and we're very grateful.
With the Mwea irrigation scheme experiencing turbulent times due to increasing dry periods, the project was seen by the government as a way of providing the much needed water for farmers downstream.
Tutakuwa tukilima mara 2 kwa mwaka. Zamani tulikuwa tunalima mara 1 kwa mwaka, na hii mwaka tutalima mara 2 kwa mwaka.
Tutashirikiana pamoja na nyinyi ili hii damu ifaidi wakulima wa hapa, iongeze mazao ya mpunga na vile vile iongeze pesa ambayo itapatikana hapa Mwea.
A water harvesting project like this requires the construction of 3 important structures: a dam wall to block water and flood the 542-acre reservoir, the outlet to ensure controlled release of water held back by the dam, and the continuous flow of the river, and a spillway for emergency purposes. I was here when the reservoir was just a valley suitable for dam construction.
Now, behind me, the area you are seeing is the reservoir.
Years later, it is a pool of water held back majorly from the flooding of River Thiba. engineers and builders started by providing a dry working area. River Thiba was first diverted around the construction site. Diverting a river is simply a fierce battle against nature. For that to happen, a canal had to be constructed on the side of the dam. Soil was excavated and larger rocks were blasted with explosives.
At the first of all, you have to do the construction works, you have to test the materials and make sure that the concrete that you are doing that there is quality. Because at the end of the day, you will incorporate them to be part of the permanent structures as the outlet. The other aspect is that diversion of the river, you have to make sure that the river will not recur again and also interfere with your construction works.
The canal clears the path for water.
It took 9 months for the construction of the river diversion. One of the aspects that you cannot proceed until you divert the river. When you divert the water, this paves way for you to do excavation works for the foundation of the dam.
For Engineer Mtinda and his team, dedication was key. A coffer dam was built downstream to prevent water from flowing back into the construction area. The type of dam constructed here is called Rockfill Dam with a center earth core. It means 50% of the fill material is classified as rockfill, that is coarse-grained friction material.
During the design of this dam, we realized that the material we have, though impermeable, was too fine, meaning it would pose a challenge during the construction in terms of workability. So what was proposed and what has been adopted for this dam is getting the fine material and blending it with some coarser material with the aim of improving the strength of this material and also to reduce settlement.
It's made by placing unsaturated compacted soil and rubbles into a valley, then coating the outside with rocks. This makes it watertight. The best way of getting the impermeable soil, rubbles and rocks is by excavation and by blasting. All of them are sourced locally. It makes the dam less expensive and easy to build. Huge dam trucks drop thousands of crushed earth every minute. How fast this happens determines how fast the dam work will be done. Engineer Mtua says they deposited construction materials in layers to improve on waterproofing.
Therefore, we are using the earth for the center and the rock fill for the outer shells.
The layers are from coarse to fine. He calls them zones. The core of the dam, which is the inner zone, is made up of fine impermeable soil.
So next to the zone 1, we have the zone 2 material. These are the filter zones. Basically, they are meant to ensure if there is any seepage through our zone 1, This material traps the seepage and dispenses the seepage on the downstream of the dam. Though the compaction requirement for the zone 2 is not as the same of a higher standard as zone 1. Next to that, we have a zone 3, which is, we call it a random material. The main purpose of zone 3 is to offer stability to the zone 1. So the zone 1 is a material of low impermeability, meaning it's fine material and less strength. So in order to add more stability and strength, we have other zones of material that are coarser and therefore offering stability to this zone 1. So we have zone 3. Zone 3 quality control, again same procedure we've been using. We test the material before, we test the material during, and we check the compaction of the material. And this is done regularly. Each layer, the compaction, the quality of the material we test on a weekly basis. And also when we are placing the material, if we observe variance from the material we identify, we also take to the lab to confirm that is within the set properties. The last zones that you are able to see are the rockfill zones, that is zone 4 and zone 5, and basically they offer the bulk of the stability. As I said, the inner of the dam is finer material. As we are coming towards the outer zones, the fineness changes and it becomes coarser material. So what you are able to see right now at the outer zones of the dam are big rock boulders and what we call the riprap or zone 5, which we qualify as the rock zone. Again, for this, there are tests for it. We test the specific gravity of the rock to ensure it's heavier than water. We check also the weight of it to ensure it offers that stability, and the compaction. When they are placing, after each layer we test to ensure that it is properly compacted and it's able to withstand the pressure of water that is supposed to support.
According to Mtua, building a dam is an engineering masterclass. The 15.2 cubic meters of water you see here in the reservoir puts a lot of pressure on the dam wall, and it is this rock covering that will take the brunt.
So once we have our reservoir or lake, there will be waves, and these waves will be hitting on the wall that we've constructed. In order for the wall not to be washed away, we put these big rocks on the layer we call riprap.
Dam stability is fundamental. But for the dam to remain solid throughout the year, the magic is in how the foundation is laid. A weak foundation leads to a weak dam. It must be rigid and strong enough to hold both the weight of the dam itself and withstand the water pressure exerted on the wall. To guarantee a strong foundation in this valley, engineers had to deal with one major problem: the geology of the area. The underground rock formation was not consistent.
In some areas we could find good rock, and in some areas we could not find good rock. There was no shortcut. We had to look for a good foundation. So we were forced to go deeper to excavate some areas until we could get good rock. Also, the foundation of the dam is supposed to be impermeable, meaning you are putting the wall from the ground going up, but you're also concerned about any leakages that might occur beneath the foundation of the dam. So to overcome this, we did extensive grouting. Grouting is a process of sealing those fissures and voids that are there by pumping a mixture of cement and water at pressure to seal these voids. It's because we are blocking water. So if you build a wall, if the water is not able to pass through your wall, it's going to look for any other route that it can pass. And one such likely route is beneath or the foundation of the dam. So you try and make sure that the foundation of the dam is watertight, it seals of any features. Otherwise you might end up doing a dam that is done very well and the water is there, but suddenly you are losing water and you cannot explain why. So one of the ways of losing water is through the foundation, and we had to treat the foundation to ensure that this is not is not going to happen to our dam.
At the point whereby the river was initially passing, there was deposits. especially because this part of Kenya is volcanic. There was some deposits which we needed also to clear in order to get a firm foundation for our dam.
The dam will have the ability of holding back more than 15 million cubic meters of water. And with it, tremendous destructive power. This area is known for flooding during heavy rains, and that could shatter the tranquility of the dam reservoir. They understand that if the dam floods to the point of water reaching the dam crest, it will have nowhere to go but over the top. Water falling at the bottom of the dam will weaken the surface underneath the wall, making it to fail.
Now for us, ours is a rock fill with a center earth material at the center. So if it's over top, the material will be washed away and our dam will collapse.
Imagine millions of cubic meters of water flashing down the valley into villages downstream. It could be an unimaginable disaster given the number of people living downstream. So engineers from the German construction firm Strabag International put up a concrete spillway which ensures water doesn't go over the crest when the dam is full to the brim. In the long run, it will ensure the integrity of the dam for years to come.
So for our dam, we went for the possible maximum flood, the PMF. That is likely the most severe flood that can come from our catchment. And we've designed our spillway such that it can carry that water that is the highly likely to happen maybe in 1,000 or 2,000 years, and safely discharge that water back to the river. So in doing so, we have an approach for the spillway of about 68 meters, our approach 68 meters wide. This is able to accommodate that flood, the possible maximum flood. Our spillway is majorly done by concrete. This is to counter any erosion, meaning the structure can never be carried by the floods, as well as we've done grouting at this section to prevent any seepage underneath our spillway. We've installed what we call a spillway under drain system. This is to counter any pressure that comes from the underground water.
The design of this spillway will ensure that excess water going downstream loses its destructive power as it hits different levels of the concrete wall and floor. To ensure the force of water falling straight down in the spillway does not undermine the foundations of the dam, engineers have fitted the spillway with concrete shoes. The shoes will spring water into the air. Once in the air, water breaks into small droplets, losing much of its destructive force. Then it lands several hundreds of meters downstream with less power.
So again, the foundation for our spillway, the entire concrete structure is on rock. And we've anchored our concrete structure into this rock. All these are engineering solutions to ensure that our spillway is safely anchored on the ground and cannot be carried away by any floods.
Water held back by the dam is being released in a controlled way through the system of outlet gates and their shoes, depending on the needs of rice farmers in Mwea.
Sisi kama county government tumeweka kwa hii maji 10,000 mbegu za samaki, yani fingerlings, watoto wa samaki. Watoto wa samaki ya tilapia na watoto wa samaki ya catfish. Na kwa nini tufanye hivyo? Ndio maji ya irrigation ikuwe ya quality ya juu, kwa vile tumefundishwa na hao ambao wako huku wa kutoka Japan, yani kwa sababu ya kuzalisha samaki huko ndani, hiyo maji iko na ile nutrients na inasaidia wale wakulima wa mchele.
Ni washukuru wale wote waliohusika na hasa serikali ya Japan na shirika la JICA. To say on behalf of the government and people of Kenya, to the government and people of Japan, our gratitude for the support and the partnership that has made it possible for us to construct this dam that is going to increase water for our farmers and bring on board an extra 10,000 acres under rice irrigation.
Let me see. Yeah, a lot of water is required, and as you can see, I'm struggling to get out of there now.
My name is Enoch Sikoli, and this is the Kenyan Historian.